Hey everybody, welcome back. I thank you so much for coming. I got a story for you guys out of Florida. I'm sure some of you have probably heard about the little 2-year-old toddler who was missing from his home in Florida. His name is Talon Mosley, and I want to bring you an update from a newscast on this story. Okay, guys, this is one of those sad stories that no one wants to do, and I don't want to do it necessarily either. But I think it's important that we get it out there because we have to keep an eye on our children, and we have to love and appreciate our children and our grandchildren and our great grandchildren. Children are innocent, and life is precious. And the last thing that anyone wants to report is a child in distress or something going on with a child. But this toddler, 2-year-old Talon Mosley, was missing apparently after the family went to the home and had someone at the apartment complex she lived in check on her, because when they got to the front door there were trails of blood in front of the door. Apparently, Passion and Talon were last seen by her family at around 5:15 Wednesday after they attended a birthday party that was given for Passion's boyfriend and Talon's father, Thomas Mosley. The family left her alone with Talon and Thomas after the party ended and went home. Around 9 that night, Thomas Mosley showed up at his mother's house and is said that he's had gashes on his hands and arms, and the police felt that those injuries were caused by a knife slipping during an attack. He was taken to St. Anthony's Hospital to have his wounds treated. The next day, on Thursday, Passion Jeffrey was discovered in her apartment's bathroom on the floor, and she had over 100 wounds that were left by a knife. Little Talon was actually missing, and the search started for him, where he was eventually found. And the family is in distress, and the family is reportedly really tore up from the news that they received after Talon was found. I got a news report from WFLA in Florida that's going to bring you up to date with what has transpired in St. Petersburg.
A days-long search for 2-year-old Talon Mosley ended in tragedy yesterday when the toddler was found dead in the jaws of an alligator.
We've learned new details tonight about the case involving Thomas Mosley, Talon's father, who is accused of killing Talon and his mother, Passion Jeffrey. 8 on your side's Trevor Sahaki is live in the newsroom tonight with the latest. Trevor?
Jack Allison, Thomas Mosley is now in jail after he was charged with both mother and son's deaths. He made his first appearance in court this morning, where he pled not guilty. And today we learned Passion had more than 100 stab wounds when she was found. According to the arrest affidavit of Thomas Mosley, he and his family were celebrating his 21st birthday at Passion Jeffrey's apartment on Wednesday. Later that night, after the party ended, Mosley went to his mother's house with severe cuts on his arms that police say are caused by slippage during a knife attack.
Is my condolences going out to the family and to his loved ones. We are sorry that it had to end this way.
The next day, when the victim's family came to check on Passion, they saw a trail of blood out of the apartment. Passion was inside with more than 100 stab wounds. A bloody fingerprint on a cleaning bottle was linked to Mosley.
She's very outspoken, always make you laugh. Smile all the time. Always joking.
According to police, Mosley threw or placed Talon into Lake Magori, causing him to die. Police did not specify how Taylon died.
We just want to say that Taylon is a beautiful little boy. And he's really loving and caring.
St. Pete Police Chief Anthony Holloway said detectives saw an alligator with an object in his mouth yesterday at Del Holmes Park. That's across town from the apartment where Jeffrey was stabbed to death.
They fired one round to the alligator. The alligator dropped the object that he had in his mouth, and we were able to retrieve Taylon's body intact.
Mosley is charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder for both Taylon and Passion's deaths. He's being held without bond at the jail and was also ordered not to have any contact with the family of Taylon or his mother. Police also said there was an indication of mental health issues with Thomas Mosley. He still has bandages on his arms and hands while in jail. Live in the newsroom, Trevor Sahaki, 8 on your side. Trevor
sent out a letter this evening thanking people around the state and the nation for their support. They say in part, quote, as we grieved Passion and searched for Taylon, we especially send our gratitude to St. Petersburg Police and all law enforcement working day and night in the search for Taylon and the concerned citizens who shared helpful information. We are heartbroken that we must begin putting them both to rest. In that same statement, they also say they are accepting donations to use for funeral services and to support the family at this time. We have that link for you at WFLA.com.
Such a horrific tragedy, guys. Such a horrific, horrible tragedy, guys. A young woman, 20 years old, with her 2-year-old son, who's having a birthday party for the father of the son. It should have been a great day. It should not have been a day that ended in tragedy, as it did, guys. An article that I've also located on WFLA in Florida goes on to read that the father accused of crossing over his 2-year-old son and the son's mother has been booked into Pinellas County Jail. Thomas Mosley, 21, was charged with crossing over of Passion Jeffrey, age 20, and her 2-year-old son, Taylon Mosley, after Taylon's body was found in the mouth of an alligator Friday, according to police. Mosley was accused of crossing over Jeffrey after celebrating his birthday at her apartment, according to newly released arrest affidavits from St. Petersburg Police Department. Jeffrey and Taylon were last seen alive at 5:15 p.m. on Wednesday, when the last of Jeffrey's family members left her alone with Mosley. Police said Mosley was unaccounted for until 9:03 p.m. when he showed up at his mother's house with gashes on his arms and hands, consistent with injuries caused by slipperage during a knife attack. He admitted himself into St. Anthony's Hospital to treat his wounds. Jeffrey's body was discovered at 2:30 p.m. Thursday after her family asked apartment staff to do a welfare check on her after they spotted blood on the sidewalk. The young mother was found on her bathroom floor with over 100 stab wounds, the affidavit said. Investigators found a bloody fingerprint on a bottle of cleaning solution which allegedly matched Mosley's and was intentionally stashed under the bed, according to the affidavit. The affidavit said there was a bloody shoe print with the Gucci logo in the room where Jeffrey was found, but the redacted document did not specify how this was connected to the case. Mosley was identified as a person of interest as police searched for Taylon, but he was reportedly not cooperating with law enforcement while in the hospital. Investigators determined Mosley left Jeffrey's apartment at around 8:42 p.m. He allegedly brought Taylon to Lake Maggiore and either threw or placed him into the water, according to St. Pete Police. And that's sad for a father to cross over his own child who he could not possibly have had issues with. If you have issues with the mother, you don't cross her over either. You try to resolve them, but the last thing you do is do anything to the child. Mosley then went to his mother's house, which was around 10 blocks away from the lake. Taylon's body was found the next day in the jaws of an alligator. Police euthanized the animal and recovered the child's body. According to Jeffrey's family, she had just started living on her own while taking care of her son. This was her first month to have lived here and very happy to have a better place than what she had before, said Theo Brickhouse Sales, Jeffrey's great aunt. And for a 20-year-old, she was doing well. She wanted more out of life. It is my condolences going out to the family and to his loved ones, he said. Thomas Mosley now faces 2 first-degree charges and remains in the Pinellas County Jail as of this report. He has an appointed public defender and pled not guilty to those charges during a hearing Saturday morning. He has been held without bond and was ordered to not have any contact with Talon or Passion's family. On the affidavit, police indicated that he may have mental health issues. So sad, guys. So sad. Such a cutie pie of a little guy that I could have really loved, and I'm sure that he was totally loved by all of his family on both sides. And it's terrible. Mental health is real, and mental health is serious, and it needs to be addressed, and it needs to be constantly looked after by a physician, by a psychiatrist or a psychologist, guys. Now, we don't know what the issue is here. It seemed to me, from all I have looked at so far, that things were okay during the party, and apparently Passion must have cared a lot about Thomas in order for her to be doing him a party at her new home. And neither her or her precious little son should be where they are now, guys. Keep this family in prayer. A loss at any time is a horrible tragedy, but the loss of a 2-year-old toddler is just more than the average person can bear. Guys, thank you so much for coming and listening to my story, and I appreciate your support. Please take a minute and subscribe to the channel. I would love so much for you all guys to be in my community. It would be a beautiful thing. So go on and hit that subscribe button for me. And if you want updates immediately, if you want to get to any of the other stories that I have on my channel, then tap on that notification bell for updates. Like the video and share it so that other people who don't know about this story can hear about it. And always leave me a comment in the comment section, guys. I want to hear from you. And I do try to get back to people as often and as I can and as quickly as I can. Thanks again for coming. Much love. Smooches now.